Hello, my friend, and welcome to Pro Wrestling Daily. My name is Aaron Machbitz. Let's talk about the March 30th edition of Monday Night Raw as we inch closer and closer to WrestleMania 42, and we only have two more Monday Night Raws before WrestleMania 42. So what happened on the March 30th edition of Monday Night Raw, and what are the implications for WrestleMania 42? Well, the show kicked off with Cody Rhodes coming down to the ring because the WWE Undisputed Champion has to be at the most famous arena in the world, Madison Square Garden. So Cody Rhodes comes out, gets the crowd a little bit hyped, and then shockingly, in surprise fashion, we see Stephanie McMahon. Now, Stephanie McMahon's goal for being out there was to give Cody Rhodes a little bit of tough love because Randy Orton has gone to his dark side. Randy Orton has gone diabolical. Randy Orton is hearing voices in his head. Now, the assumption could be made that Randy Orton is just hearing his own voices, or there's some actual real human in the world who is telling him that he needs to go to this side to beat Cody Rhodes. Now, I didn't mind the promo from Stephanie McMahon. There's a couple options here that you can think about. Was this a ploy from Randy Orton? Did Randy Orton let Stephanie McMahon know, hey, go out there, say this stuff, do a little tough love, and continue to get in Cody Rhodes' head? Or was this like Stephanie McMahon actually, trying to give Cody Rhodes some tough love, saying, hey, you might need to dig a little bit deeper in your toolbox of kind of darkness and evil to be able to defend yourself against Randy Orton. So I didn't hate the segment. I didn't totally love the segment. I thought it was a fine way to kick off Monday Night Raw. It was interesting to see Stephanie McMahon out there. I think the promo may have had a little bit more juice behind it if Triple H did it, but I get Stephanie and Cody have a very, very long storied history. So do Stephanie and Randy Orton, so she understands both men quite well, and she's trying to draw something out of Cody Rhodes that Randy Orton has found this diabolical side, and you're going to need to find that side as well if you actually want to defend and keep your WWE Undisputed Championship. And that then remains the question of who is the voice inside Randy's head. Kevin Owens posted a very kind of weird video on his X of like a puppet Cody Rhodes, so it could be Kevin Owens that is actually in the head of Randy Orton, because Kevin Owens is very diabolical. Kevin Owens has had a long history with Cody Rhodes. Remember that ladder match before Kevin Owens got injured? And so it could be Kevin Owens. That could be very, very cool. It could be Cowboy Bob Orton. It could be a number of people, or it simply could just be all the voices in Randy Orton's head. So that will be something that's revealed probably on Friday Night SmackDown, I assume, as we're only about 18 days away from WrestleMania 42. So that was a fine way to kick off Monday Night Raw. I think the most hyped and anticipated match, and what actually feels like a real main event match for WrestleMania 42, is Obafemi and Brock Lesnar. For 2 weeks in a row, Obafemi got the best of Brock Lesnar. Now they're about to go toe-to-toe in the middle of the ring on the March 30th edition of Monday Night Raw, and Triple H stands in the way. Brock Lesnar leaves the ring, and they don't actually go blow for blow. But for 2 back-to-back weeks, Brock Lesnar was embarrassed by Obafemi. Calls him out. They're going to fight right here, right now on Monday Night Raw. And Obafemi's throwing security guards. He's launching them. He's pushing Adam Pearce. He doesn't give a fuck. And then Brock Lesnar leaves. Beautiful. Perfect segment. That match right there, Obafemi, Brock Lesnar, actually feels like a legit main event match for WrestleMania. I think that match feels bigger than Randy Orton and Cody Rhodes. It almost feels as big as Roman Reigns and CM Punk. So, I thought that was great. And then, of course, then we lead into the sort of Roman Reigns, CM Punk segment. Also, that was at the very end of the show, so we'll get there in a second. But I just mentioned Roman Reigns, so my brain went right there. But let's talk about the women's tag team division. It was announced there's going to be a fatal 4-way tag team match at WrestleMania. This will be the worst match. No, this will be the second worst match on the card. Again, I say this a lot after I review Friday Night SmackDown, so you guys have probably heard it. But anytime that Nia Jax is on your screen, things are going to go bad. The Bella Twins are not good. Nia Jax is not good. I think Lash Legend has some potential. Lyra and Bayley, they're okay. Charlotte and Alexa, they're okay. Like that Fatal 4-Way match is going to be pretty bad, but I'm hoping that Lyra and Bayley walk out as tag team champions because they're the ones that can actually defend the title on a regular basis and have good matches. It may look like the Bella Twins win. That would be horrible. They don't know how to work. And I don't really care if Charlotte and Alexa win. They're not really doing anything either. But that's probably the worst thing that WWE has going on. I would say that the women's tag team division was awesome when Rhea and Io Sky were involved. The Kabuki Warriors were involved. It was like really trending upwards. And then you remove the best wrestlers you have, Io, Rhea, Asuka, Kairi Sane from that division, and you add the Bella Twins and Nia Jax and Lash Legend. It's not going to get better. It's only going to get worse. But I think the worst match that we'll see at WrestleMania will definitely be Jade Cargill and Rhea Ripley. And then the worst match above that. So the two worst matches you're going to see at WrestleMania are going to be the Fatal 4-Way and Rhea Ripley versus Jade Cargill, because Jade Cargill is atrocious. And then also got announced is a ladder match for WrestleMania, and I think I'm with sort of every fan on the planet that we have no idea when these qualifying matches happen. They just sort of happen. So you're going to see Dragon Lee, you're going to see Javon Evans, you're going to see JD McDonough, you're obviously going to see Penta in there. I would not be surprised if Javon Evans won this ladder match. I wouldn't be surprised. I think WWE is high on him. I'm not super high on Javon Evans. I think he's a mediocre talent, just like I think Penta is a mediocre talent. Just what I see from them in the ring is like, it's not super crisp. You watch AJ Styles wrestle, and I know AJ Styles is one of the best to ever do it, but you watch AJ Styles wrestle, and it's crisp. It's executed well. The striking looks legit and real and firm and powerful. And then you watch someone like Javon Evans and Penta wrestle, and everything is weak and slow, and it's like in slow motion. And it's like it doesn't feel like I can get invested in that. I can get invested in an AJ Styles match or a Gunther match, like easy. But not Javon Evans or Penta or some of these guys who are just too hokey pokey and their strikes aren't crisp. And so I'm not high on Penta. I'm not high on Javon Evans, but I would not be surprised if Javon Evans won the Intercontinental Championship in the ladder match at WrestleMania 42. And then, of course, we saw Gunther return to Monday Night Raw, which is awesome. Kind of a very random match that's happening, but I think it's the best they could possibly do because originally the plans were Braun Breaker versus Seth Rollins at WrestleMania and Rey Mysterio versus Gunther at WrestleMania. Both Braun Breaker got hurt, Seth Rollins got hurt, Rey Mysterio got hurt. Now it was looking like potentially a Seth Rollins, Paul Heyman type of match. But obviously that's not going to happen because Paul Heyman's not a wrestler. Gunther didn't have a match. And then you see 18 days before WrestleMania, Gunther attacks Seth Rollins, puts him to sleep. Yes, it's a very random match. Yes, they're not going to be able to build a massive story behind it. But I think it still is important for those two guys, massive stars in WWE, to be at WrestleMania. Now, most likely what Triple H is going to do at WrestleMania is Gunther is going to win simply because Braun Breaker is going to return at WrestleMania. He's going to cost Seth Rollins the match. Gunther's going to win, and then you're going to actually move on to the Braun Breaker and Seth Rollins feud with Paul Heyman in the mix, and then that'll lead kind of Gunther, I think, into Brock Lesnar territory eventually, where you're going to see him kill the career of Brock Lesnar at SummerSlam in Minneapolis. So not the absolute best option, but the best of the options available for Seth Rollins and Gunther. And so, yeah, I mean, Gunther has to have a match. Like, there's just no options. There's no other thought. If Gunther misses WrestleMania, then what the fuck was it for him to tap out John Cena and retire AJ Styles? And so this is what we get. Totally fine. Seth Rollins, again, one of the biggest stars in the world. Gunther up there is one of the biggest stars in the world. Put them together, have a match, make Braun Breaker return at WrestleMania, and then they can go out off in their feud and then let Gunther sink his teeth into something else. And then we also saw, kind of to wrap up this reaction to Monday Night Raw, is that we saw IShowSpeed kind of inadvertently help The Vision beat the Usos to become the new tag team champions. And so the rumor around the scene is that you're going to see Austin Theory versus Logan Paul, or Austin Theory and Logan Paul, and I Show Speed versus LA Knight and the Usos at WrestleMania in a six-man tag team match. Don't know if that's legit or not, but that's kind of the rumor in the rumor mill. Also, we now know that John Cena will be hosting WrestleMania simply because WWE needed to boost ticket sales, so they brought in John Cena. And there's also a rumor that Tom Brady will also be at WrestleMania. And now we go into the main event segment with Roman Reigns and CM Punk. Now, an interesting thing was discussed on social about the Roman Reigns CM Punk match. So we get to the match, we're at WrestleMania, and Jey Uso costs Roman Reigns the match. And then later we learn that it was The Rock who was pulling the strings all along, which leads us to The Rock versus Roman Reigns at WrestleMania 43. And on the lead up to WrestleMania 43, since The Rock is kind of the leader, he's the true tribal chief, The Rock forces Roman Reigns to wrestle every single one of his family members that is currently on the roster leading up to WrestleMania, where he's going one-on-one with The Rock. So you may potentially see Jey Uso cost Roman Reigns the championship at WrestleMania 42, and it later being revealed that it was because of The Rock, and The Rock has been pulling all of the strings from the background as the final boss, which will lead to The Rock's very last final match, which will be WrestleMania 43, Roman Reigns versus The Rock in Saudi Arabia. So that potentially could happen as we think about outcomes for Roman Reigns versus CM Punk. Now, if that doesn't happen, then I'm all in on Roman Reigns winning, beating CM Punk, and becoming the new World Heavyweight Champion. I also want Randy Orton to become the new WWE Undisputed Champion, but it's highly unlikely that both big titles change hands at WrestleMania, so we could actually see this Jey Uso thing happen at WrestleMania while Randy Orton wins and beats Cody Rhodes. Now, I thought their segment on the March 30th edition of Monday Night Raw was fine. They fought, they brawled. CM Punk puts Roman Reigns through a table. Now they've both done the same thing. Now they have 2 more weeks to kind of build this up, build up the intensity a little bit more between Roman Reigns and CM Punk, and then I gave you a potential option of what might happen at WrestleMania and how the WWE can actually set up The Rock versus Roman Reigns at WrestleMania 43. So overall, the March 30th edition of Monday Night Raw was pretty good. I think it set some things up. More matches got added. Again, we also added Finn Balor and Dominic Mysterio to WrestleMania. So the card of WrestleMania 42 is shaping up to be pretty good. I will do more discussions about WrestleMania 42 and the card and my predictions for that as we inch closer and closer to WrestleMania. But I think there was some solid stuff on the March 30th edition of Monday Night Raw that got more interest and garnered more interest and attention towards WrestleMania 42. But I'd love to know what you think in the comments down below. So like this video, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you guys next time. Lots of love. Cheers.